Welcome to CATtheMinion YouTube channel. My name is Theresa, but you can call me Cat. I'm doing a November horoscope, zodiac, astrology, whatever reading for Aquarius. So this is for anyone who has Aquarius, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, Venus, or if you're being affected by whatever the planet Uranus is doing in the sky right now. Uranus is currently retrograde in Taurus, and there's 3 planets in Capricorn right now, and at some point they should be moving into Aquarius, but maybe not until December or the new year. But there could be this like pre-shadow thing because they're large planets, but whatever. Okay. So the reading that I'm doing... Oh, and I still didn't change the other videos. The reading that I'm doing is called Ancestor Overview. It's one that I offer. It's $77. I still need to update the description box of the infomercial video and the sample reading for this, because they're still listed as twice that. So if you're coming into this, it's $77, and I've used charms here in place of one of the decks of cards that it calls for. Normally, if I'm doing charms and you purchase a reading, it's the cards that you're supposed to get, and then if you add charms to it on top of the reading, it's an extra $7. So if I was using cards where these charms are, and then put charms on top of the reading, it would be an $84 reading, just to clarify that a little bit. I'm sorry if I'm talking funny. I'm finishing up a vitamin C tab here. I think that's pretty well focused. So I've got about as much of the spread in here as I can. Is that? Well, maybe once I move this, you'll be able to see. Yeah. The first one I did, I forgot to show the decks that I was using. But I've got my box of charms here in place of one of the decks. I've got the Mystical Shaman Oracle. I have my music deck that I made for myself. If you want one, I'll just email me. I'll get you that PDF. You can print it out. It's free, because I just scabbed the images except for one. And the Aquarian Tarot, and the Syrian Starseed Tarot. So this reading runs, I don't know why I'm having such a hard time talking. I keep procrastinating doing these readings because I just wanted to really take a nap, but I've got to get through these because I have another channeling that I have to do, and I need to be able to focus and not have these hanging over me. So I've got this is for the querent, right? This is for the viewer or for whoever you're cross-watching for. This is a past, a present, and a future, potential future. And then I have 2 cards as like advice. And then I have Wands energy, Cups energy, Swords energy, and Pentacles energy. So this is like your core being, your modus operandi, your soul directive, things like that. This is your emotions and psychic intuitions. This is thoughts, perceptions, and communication. And then Pentacles is like the physical body. It's strangely a helicopter outside. It's the physical body, it's manifestation, it's resources, money, and stuff like that. It's really loud too. I wonder what they're doing. Okay, this represents ancestral people. So I have near ancestors, middle distant ancestors, and like ancient ancestors. It could be your parents, grandparents, great-grandparents, or it could be within the last couple hundred years, within the last 1,000 years, and then, you know, hundreds of or tens of thousands of years. Or it could be both of those at once because of cyclical things in time. And the nature of all time being now. And then I have what's supposed to be 2 cards as a wrap-up and overview. Now, I only had 1 charm come out, so I was using the charms in place of the cards there, so we'll see those after, and that's sort of, you know, a commentary on the whole reading. I'm trying to figure out which side I want to read first. I think I want to do the viewer first. I think I like that better. So this is for Aquarius. So in the past we have, in the Wands sector, we have the 10 of Wands. So this is Red Light, Eddie Murphy with Snoop Lion, because that's what Snoop Dogg was calling himself at the time that this was made. So the lyric is, let red light stop right there where you are. And I don't remember the rest of the lyrics right now. It's a really cool video. It's like a reggae song. So 10 of Wands is Saturn in Sagittarius. So in the past, it feels like your whole life is surrounded by progress that seems almost impossible. Like completely caught and stuck and blocked in everything that you try to do. Like, why is this so hard for me when it's so much easier for everyone else? But it's also a completion. There's something being resolved. It's like, stop and take a look at where you've been. Because there's Sagittarius energy and the number 10, there is also this idea of the wheel. So we might have a karmic cycle of arrested development, basically. Emotionally, 3 of Swords inverted. Now, what's interesting is that in the emotional area, we have the most emotional Swords card. Right? I'm sort of thinking about my emotions more than feeling them, but I've been in pain. Uninvited Alanis Morissette, like the MTV Live version. Saturn in Libra. So we have Saturn and Saturn energy here. You know, Libra is air. It's ruled by Venus, who also rules Taurus. So there's also this idea of, there's an idea of nurturing and grounding. I notice I have 13 total. 13 is death, and November is largely about death cycles, right? We come off of Halloween, the death of the old year, and then the beginning of the new year starts with the releasing of the souls, like a judgment. Here we're releasing the swords, and we're dealing with a root issue. I am I feel cock-blocked by life, and it's caused me so much pain, and I really just want to let go of it. I want to transmute, transform. I want to lay this part of my life to rest and move on. So not only do I have swords in the cups, but I have cups in the swords. So we have the Queen of Cups, Fields of Gold. This is Ava Cassidy, R.I.P. Rest in peace. I was going to say rest in many pieces, and then I realized that was kind of rude. She died of cancer. She was a brilliant blues guitarist and vocalist. So Fields of Gold. And the Queen of Cups is Gemini and Cancer energy. So we have air. Oh, it's sort of... I was going to say my thoughts and feelings are scrambled, but I'm getting I have a lump in my throat. I don't know if she had throat cancer, but this is the energy that I'm getting. I have a lump in my throat. Like Queen can be at 13 also, which is death, but it can also be 1. So I'm trying to achieve balance. I'm having trouble expressing that which will allow me to achieve balance because I have a lump in my throat. There's something you're not telling me. There was my parents had this pull string Sigmund Freud owl, and it said 5 things, and one of them was, "There's something you're not telling me. Why do you hate your mother? That will be $100. Lie down on the couch." Was this upside down? I think this was upside down. In the material world, I have the High Priestess. I have this picture from a Rainbow album here. It's the man on the silver mountain. That's probably not how that song goes. Look at that, Fields of Gold, and then there's this yellow road leading up to the castle, which looks a little bit swordsy. Like Sword Castle. Which makes sense because the Two of Swords is a low vibration of the High Priestess, and the Queen of Swords is also a low vibration of the High Priestess. Right, so it was Two of Swords, Queen of Swords, Justice, and then the High Priestess. And there was Libra energy here, which is Justice. So now I have a 2. So I have 2 cards making 13, and I have 2 cards... Oh, that was in the challenge position, I think. 2 cards making up 15, which is more Capricorn energy. What I'm seeing here is Aquarius is sensing that their progress and their joy, their emotional contentment in life is supposed to be coming in, right? My heartbreak is going to be over, but I'm still being blocked. But I'm pretty sure I feel it coming in. What's going on? And notice that there's gold and silver, right? The sun and the moon, masculine and feminine energy and balance. Not only because it's the priestess, but the song that I picked is the man. The man on the silver mountain. What is the silver ray? I guess the silver ray is the moon. And the red ray is like Mars. Mars retrograding in Aries right now. Rainbow is a full spectrum. What's interesting though is that you can see from, like, you can't, maybe not, but Richie Blackmore's Rainbow, right? So there's this idea of blackness, the opposite of color, rainbow, and there's a moon here as well. I didn't see that, but the moon is colored gold. So I just got a little bit of reflections of my life. I can't remember who sings that. Changing. Oh, I guess it's the Box Tops maybe that sing that. That might be them. I'm either wrong or it's the Box Tops. It's like something changing everything. The reflections of my life. I don't want you to see me cry. That's where the lump of the throat's coming in. Okay. So let's see what's going on in the present for Aquarius energy. The Four of Swords, Sleepwalk. So this is Santo and Johnny. I'm not really surprised to see this either. So I have a 2, and then I have 3 swords. And then I have 4 swords. This is... The Four of Swords is sort of linked to the Hanged Man. This is Jupiter in Libra. So Saturn and Jupiter both in Capricorn right now. And I was going to say, before I got distracted by the color theory over here, this is like Aquarius knows that something is coming in on their horizon, but they feel totally cock-blocked by it. Or by the world in general. Like, why can't I just seem to get what I want? Like, I know what I want, but I just don't know how to go about getting it. It's like a Hendrix lyric. Like, I sense that it's coming, but it feels like it's never coming. And it's like, they're the 3 planets that are just kind of sitting in Capricorn. It's like Aquarius is like, hey, isn't it my turn? Like, when am I getting the Time Master and the Death Master and the Luck Master? Like, when am I gonna be in charge of the lightning and the thunder and the stuff? It's like, when is my ship coming in here? What the crap, actually? But there is this I'm in stasis. You're not gonna see me crying. I'm communicating that I'm cheerful, that I am emotionally satisfied to the world. My manifestation is I'm having trouble seeing the bigger picture. I almost didn't say that, but then I was like, no, those are the words that are coming out. I'm having a hard time seeing the bigger picture, or I see what I want, but there's a bunch of clouds in the way. So let's go back to Santo and Johnny here. So the truth is obscured, right? It's slightly obscured, and I need to rest in order. This is sort of trying to get into sacral energy, right? In the past, my root issue is that I'm stuck, but I see that I've been living in this like long drawn out dream sequence almost. Could be 40 years, it could be 4 years, where I can't seem to... It's like I can hear the music, but I can't make out the words. And I need to go... somehow I know that I need to go deep within myself. And one of the themes that's coming up as we're heading towards November is sacral energy. And some of that's coming up because of the Mars retrograding in energy, but there's also a lot going on with Sagittarius. And the sacral chakra coming into play as we're heading into Sun in Scorpio, right? Scorpio rules the genitals, and that's where the sacral chakra sits. It's where things are it's where things are birthed, literally, right? The seat of creativity, where my inspiration starts to come from. It's the coal that I throw on the barbecue, and then the solar chakra is the match, right? It's the fuel for the fire. It's the seed. It's the egg that is. It's the pumpkin that gets hit with the magic wand and turns into a coach. So emotionally, 8 of Cups. Get this red and blue, right? What I'm talking about, we start with root energy and we're got a lump in the throat. This is Life Story, Barbara Streisand. Your life story began with somebody else. Find your glory out there with somebody else. I'll be where you find me. I'll be somebody else. 8 of Cups is walking away from that which doesn't suit you anymore. Now this is coming in inverted, which to me means there's something that's not being let go of. And I see letting go of the swords with red energy, and there's something that's blue that's not being let go of. Something that you thought, something that, some kind of trauma trigger, right? Someone says a certain word, you perceive a certain thing, and it locks you into this point where you're unable to let go of the things which don't serve you anymore. Now what's interesting is I see 4 and 8, which go matchy-matchy, and then I see 3 and 8, and I see 5, which is half of the 10. And I also see 8 and 3 is 11, which could be strength or justice, depending, right? In order to get the justice that I need, I don't have the strength to fully let go of something that's keeping me blue. Another red and blue with a moon and some solar yellow here. So in the present for Aquarius, with the communication, perception, thinking energy, we have Slow Ride, the Knight of Pentacles by Foghat. Slow ride. Take it easy. Slow ride, make it sleazy. It's actually really phallic here. It's sort of like this train is trying to bypass the sacral energy, and it's causing the train to slow down. Right? You're stuck in the fog over here. I'm not surprised to see the 12. This could be a 1 or a 12. So I have 4, I have 8, I have 3. Right? 4, 8, 12. It's coming into the Queen, so I see a countdown as well. I see 13, 12, and then this 11 over here, and then 10. And then there's an 8. So basically I'm missing the number 9. Although I see 3 and 4 and 2, that makes 9 as well. So 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. It's sort of like I'm trying to have a countdown to an ace, or maybe I'm trying to count up to 14 to have balance. I'm trying to get it here. I have a block and then a rest. I need to recover. I need to balance out my fire and my water. So the Knight of Pentacles, Leo and Virgo. So Leo is sun energy, which would make sense. Fields of gold. Gold is the sun. And then I have a little bit of solar energy here. But it's like I'm trapped underground, right? This train is coming from inside the earth. And Virgo is that sort of maiden energy. Ruler is Mercury. So we have air energy here as well. Mercurial. Quicksilver. So I have silver and gold again. And silver and gold over here, where the fog is coming in. All that glitters is gold, only shooting stars break the mold, and the star is Aquarius. Interesting. Ah, no, notice I said my ships aren't coming in. The Three of Wands. I saw 3 ships. I like the Nat King Cole version. Look at this. We have these rocks again, and then this vast ocean, and then this sacral and solar energy with the sun coming up, and I can see my future on its way. But here, it's like, I'm still not seeing this stuff happening with the actual crap. And then I see 15 again here, right? 15, 15. This devil energy is holding you down until you can let go of your own mental prison. I see 8 of Cups inverted is basically tied to 8 of Swords. You will be chained underground in this devil energy until you learn to actually ground your energy, which is why we see this pentacle here, and realize that those shackles that you've got, that the devil purportedly gave you, you can get out of them at any time, right? It's sort of like Alice in Wonderland, where she decides she's had enough of the Red Queen and is like, you know what? Fuck your apple cart. I'm in charge of this nightmare. So 3 of Wands is the sun in Aries. So we have the sun energy again, and then that background energy of Mars in Aries, really traveling deep down into the lower chakras. Now I've seen a progression. I've seen in this ego showdown, while Mars has been retrograde in Aries, that there was a lot of heat and conflict. And I feel like that's supposed to be solar energy, but I think it was in the throat chakra. It's the he said, she said, or, you know, Spider-Man pointing at himself energy. And I've seen coming through October that there's been a lot of heart chakra navigation in terms of the Mars retrograding in Aries. But I'm seeing now, as we're going into November, it's passing through the solar and into the sacral. And I think before it finishes, I think it comes out in December. I think there's going to be more root energy, which makes sense because as you prepare for the winter, things go down into the root cellar. And you have that fallow time of year. Alright, so let's look at the potential future here for Aquarius. It's like I'm still not getting what I want, and I'm trying to force some kind of... like, I'm trying to skip a step, but it's slowing me down. And my internal clock is telling me that I really need to take a break, but I don't want to. I'm gonna... but it's making the manifestation slower, and I'm still not getting what I want. The Wheel of Fortune inverted. So spinning wheel, blood, sweat, and tears. Drop all your troubles by the riverside. Catch a painted pony on the spinning wheel ride. Sagittarius energy, fire. Jupiter. I just heard stop the wheel, I want to get off. Red light. It's interesting. I feel like stop the train. I want to get off. Right? Instead of forcing forward motion, it's like, oh, okay, I get it. I need to take a minute. And this is the balance, not this. Six of Cups, San Francisco. Be sure to wear flowers in your hair. And what's interesting is there's a bridge on here. And I feel like this train needs a bridge to get over the water. I just heard like a bridge over troubled water. I will lay me down. I take a nap. Hang on, I'm trying to think of more lyrics. I'm trying to hear Simon and Garfunkel, making Leanne Rhymes in my head. And Aretha Franklin. When you're weary, feeling small. It's like when the time has come to show all your dreams along the way or something like that. And then there's something about sailing by. I think there's a lyric that's like when trouble can't be found. I think one of them is also I'll take your side or take your part or something like that. I'm hearing I'll clear your mind. Wow. I don't know if that's the actual lyric, but I'm hearing it screamed in my head, I'll clear your mind. Okay. So that's not as important as this song. Six of Cups is the sun in Scorpio. Which is exactly what's happening during most of November. And look at all this blue and green energy, right? I'm trying to resolve my emotions and my ability to speak up. Like, I don't want to be fronting. I'm not going to let the past repeat itself. I'm going to change my past by making this decision in the future. 4 and 6, 10. This is the work that I need to stop flapping around to do. I need to resolve my past issues. 8 and 6, 14. 10 and 4, 14. This is a 2, I hope so. 6 of Wands inverted. Uprising. My muse. This is like resistance, protesty kind of. I'm not going to take any more shit kind of a song. This is 6 of Wands, but for some reason my eye was drawn to the 8. Inverted. Jupiter in Leo. So this is... Sun invert is moon energy. So I have the sun and the moon. And I see these 6s as going together to make this 12 up here. If I shine the light upon the past, I see where I've had bad luck. My perception of trying to fight against things becomes different, and I realize that I've lost something important about myself. Seven of Cups, Into the Light. So there's Johnny Lang. Really good song. So this is about, I mean, it's essentially about finding the true emotional content in a sea of garbage. It's based on, I based this card on the Seven of Cups in the Wild Unknown Tarot because it has one cup with the sun over it and then 6 cups going the opposite way with the moon over it. So we have Into the Light, 13 Transformation, 10 Completion, 19 the Sun, 17 the Star, 9 the Hermit going within to see the light, and then 17 again the Star. 11 Justice, Universal Timing, 13, 15 that Devil energy, 10 again, and then 20 Karma, Judgment, resolving karma. Okay. It's like I thought I'd lost myself forever, but when it's like finding my own light deep inside me and realizing that I don't have to be bound by emotional trauma and I don't have to try to skip over it. My own internal light gives me the resources that I need to move forward in life. I've changed the battery and now I'm back. So the advice for Aquarius, soul retrieval, number 49. I'm not surprised to see this. 49 breaks down to 13. We have a butterfly transformation. We have a sun disk here. Right? I've found my inner light. I'm just going to skim that in the book in a minute, though. Let me see what else came out. The corn, number 10. So this is about abundance. We have a sun disk here. Nurturing, growth, grounding. 13 breaks down to a 4. And 10 is 14. That's temperance. That's balance between the passion and the emotion. So let me just skim this real quick. Sustenance, intangible abundance. Provides stability and sustenance to many. There's more than enough, right? My cup runneth over. Ah, field of dreams. If you build it, they will come. You reap rewards. Quality over quantity. Alright, so let's look at soul retrieval. Soul retrieval. Okay. Soul retrieval is a practice that helps you recover a part of yourself. Right? I found myself into the light. Oh, if you go look this up, Johnny Lang, it's Jonn. There's no H in it. It's from the album Signs. It's really good. Oh, okay. It helps you recover a part of yourself, your energy, your enthusiasm, or your innocence that you have lost. Now, the Six of Cups here is normally like the little kids giving each other flowers, right? It can be romanticizing the past, but it's also this sort of nostalgic and loving and innocent feeling. So that's at play as well. At first, we'll use soul retrieval to recover from our hurts and heal our childhood wounds, right? Trauma, 8 of Cups, inverted. I can't let go of it. Later, we learn to journey to recover our original nature, that self that never left the Garden of Eden, who still speaks to the rivers, to the trees, and to God. Now, if you don't believe in God, just consider your higher self is still existing in this balanced energy of heart-centeredness and being in touch with the universe. So don't let specific religious examples throw you by the wayside in understanding this. So this is about wholeness, completion, right? 10, completion. When you are no longer fragmented, you are one with creation. Heal the cause of the pain you feel, so you do not need to dwell on it any longer. Right? You don't need to avoid it. You don't need to... Oh, and I said rest in pieces, right? Fragmentation. It's about self-unifying. If you're still hovering over an old wound, find a new flight path. Don't be distracted with the little stuff you've already mastered. Go for the big one, the journey back to source there. Okay. So that just sort of ties that all up nicely. Okay. So let's look at the ancestors. So I've got these charms over here in place of where cards would be. So I have the shark with the boombox. Okay. It says, I'm afraid to go deep into my emotions because there's this perpetual trauma in there that replays on blast every time I fucking try to get over my shit. In reverse, I have this fae person. This like, hey, listen, but I'm not really listening. La la la, I can't hear you. I'm gonna keep going. All this crap over here. Holy shit. Alright, this one flipped over when I tried to pick it up. This is the feminine energy. This is that emotional nurturing. Alright, so it's sort of like in the past, the script was flipped in some way. So I have the bone inverted. It's my bone. Throw me a freaking bone here, man. But also the Stegosaurus. Right? So we're dealing with something that's been going on for a really long time. Like lost in the sands of time, the dust and all that. I'm getting a little bit of can't see the forest for the trees because I can't see the bone, but I can see the whole dinosaur. And I have the dress. Something's not being addressed. But what's interesting is I found out after I made these that this dress actually fits over the feminine figure. It's like I'm not addressing this lack of nurturing, and I'm going to skip over the details of what's really deep inside the marrow and try to see the whole... I'm going to try to skip steps in my evolution. Inverted, I have the balloon and the train crossing. Right? I'm trying to skip over a step. I don't want to go on the train tracks. I want to take an air balloon. Flight of Fancy. And then upright, I have the ghost, who's in a meditative position there. And I have the third eye. It's like whenever I try to focus in on the universe, all I'm seeing is like I'm being haunted. Actually, you know what I'm actually getting though is it's like if you currently, when you try to see something, your future is clouded because you're being haunted by this ancestral issue of lack of nurturing in the present moment in order to be somewhere you think is better, right? I keep getting cock blocked right now. I'm stunted in some way because I can't seem to get out of this repeating emotional trauma. Although I'm not really seeing what the emotional trauma is here, aside from feeling stuck. Oh, the emotional trauma is actually itself being in fragments. It's like you're having a hard time moving forward because you're missing part of your engine. Ooh. I thought I said, you know what? In one of the other readings, I got the messenger card, or the rider in the Lenormand, which is on a carousel horse in the Gilded Reverie Lenormand. And I think I was talking about how it came in inverted, and I was talking about this carousel horse and how you gotta, it's like broken and you have to take it off of the carousel and repaint it and touch it up and put it back on and fix the gears and stuff. And that's exactly what this is. It's like I can't, my path isn't opening up because part of my gear is missing, and what's missing is this inner piece of myself. And we see that here, emotional repetition. I'm being haunted by some kind of lack of nurturing, that where I'm afraid to go into the very marrow of the issue, right? It could even be manifesting in some kind of like platelet disease or some kind of bone density ailment that's genetic. These two piles are kind of... Oh, this is a whole pile. Okay. Let's see what I've got here. I have the bat. So this is like sonar. Something that is seen at night. Now we don't know if it's a fruit bat. It could be a vampire bat. It could be one of those flying foxes. Sky pupper. I'm getting the lyrics to Sky Pilot, but I can only remember like the Sky Pilot, and then that's it. I know it's a different song, but I'm getting like See How High She Flies. I feel like this is also about evolution. And I have the Swan, which is more indicative of emotional content. And I'm going to have the record player, the turntable, and the leaf. So I'm getting this idea of like album, like a photo album, like leaves in an album. But the record player is telling me the same thing that the boombox is telling me. There's a broken record. I'm seeing like a sonar image, like a radar, where it just looks like a bunch of concentric rings. What does that mean though? Loose leaf binder. Well, I'm not sure what that means yet. Okay, let me see what these other... I have a bunch of things in reverse. So I have this charity thing here in reverse. This is like 6 of Pentacles for me. You know, I have nothing left to give. I'm not... This is like 2 of Cups, right? I'm not having a good time with anybody. I'm having a hard time speaking up for myself. Microphone. Compass inverted, right? I can't figure out my course. My radio signal's down. I can't figure out my course. And then I have a shield. My shields are down. What's interesting is I'm getting this thing like in Star Trek. It's like you can't warp with your shields up. You can't go warp speed with your shields up. But it's like my shields are down and I'm being attacked. I can't find out which direction I'm heading. My emotions are in this broken record, swimming around in circles, and I'm falling out of the sky like a leaf, like a dead leaf. So I get this sort of some kind of deep emotional trauma that deals with fragmenting of the self that set Aquarius's ancestors up for emotional stagnancy, right? Just I'm too shook, literally shaken to pieces. I'm too shook to work on my emotions, so I'm going to, because I feel like I'm free falling in my life, so I'm going to stay on this emotional turntable with the sharks swimming around in circles on my ankles in order to survive long enough to propagate my DNA and become something else. Right? It's like we took the hit. We got the comet to the knee, and we haven't been able to recover from it. Right? We're trying to gain balance. We're trying to meditate even after we've been dead for hundreds of years, and it's a struggle. Like we're tied to the earth. We have unfinished business. All right, so let's look at the middle ancestors. So I have the shadow. So this is the devil energy, and we see that over and over again here. Right? I've descended into darkness. I'm caught in this web. I can't seem to move. Again, this looks like a radar screen, but it's distorted. It's not circular. It's got these angles in it. We have a masculine and a feminine energy here, and they're in the shadow. They're trying to have a discussion, but they're sort of caught between the paws of the Sphinx, right? There's this ancient wisdom, but they can't seem to access it because they just think it's a big mountain hanging over them. They don't realize that there's information available because they're trapped in this darkest of night energy. Now, 15 breaks down to 6, which could be a healing. It's also Gemini energy, which is Aquarius's twin brothers there, or twin siblings rather, right? The male and the female. So the sun and the moon both in darkness, in the shadow, resolved by this into the light. Now 7 is basically half of that, right? Because there's no 7.5. The Chariot. So there's a 7. I'm struggling to move forward in the darkness. This is Cancerian energy, the moon. I just heard, I actually watched Rocky Horror, so I heard, by the light of the night it'll all be alright, I'll get you a satanic mechanic. I look at the hanging man. He's caught in the crystal. This is very much like the Four of Swords. I'm trapped within the earth. I could see clearly, well, it's actually a smoky crystal here, so there's some clouding, but it's like I could potentially see through this glass cage and realize that I could let myself go. Right? What is this? Marzipan? What is this? Plastic? What is this? Wax paper? I can bust through that. But it's a matter of being connected to the root and to your own intuition enough to be able to have that expansion. So, and the universal download, it's like I'm getting in touch with myself. The blood's rushing to me head. So that's 12. Breaking down to a 3 and 7, that's 10. And 6, 16. So there's a tower here, which is interesting because it's like there's some progress happening, right? I'm trying to move forward, but it's also like this card. I see these two as making this. I'm moving forward, but I'm not really going anywhere. There's the only movement that's happening in the interim is an internal thing. Like I only make progress now in my dreams. And I'm having a hard time applying it to the physical world. There's nothing tying these to the physical world. Hanged Man is Neptune energy, right? The subconscious. I'm getting a little bit of Roy Orbison in dreams. So, the most recent ancestors we have... Oh, there's the tower right there. Aries energy. It exploded. There's this emotional waters where the sharks are going to be, right? Got sharks with frickin' laser beams attached to their frickin' heads. And here's all these bats. And then there's like lightning and fire and roar. And some kind of... I think that's supposed to... That could be the moon there, but I'm actually seeing it as Mars. Because it's sort of pinkish in the sky. It's like the past haunting is catching up with these emotional work in the subconscious, and this generation is realizing it as like complete destruction, trauma, annihilation. But we have the star. The day after the tower, we have the star. We have a portal into a different world, but we're still dealing with all this darkness, right? The bird of paradise isn't ready to fly. But we have this hope in healing. You know, like, I don't know if I'm going to be alright, but I experienced utter destruction and I didn't die. So what's interesting is 16 breaks down to 7. 17 breaks down to 8. It breaks down to the devil again. 15. Right? So I'm tied to this cycle of thinking I'm going to star Aquarius energy. I'm going to have this thinking, oh, my thing's finally going to come. I'm hoping it's going to get better. But there's this gap where apparently, like generationally, something didn't get better. And Aquarius is left to sort of resolve that. Aquarius's legacy is the tower. How are they restructuring? Right? When you're blown to bits, how do you put yourself back together? And there's this thing, oh, I don't remember what it's called. This Japanese thing where a piece of pottery gets broken and they repair it by putting the pieces back together with gold. So the gold becomes part of the piece and it enhances the beauty because now it's got all this other essence with it. I think... Oh, is it in here? Maybe it's in one of these. I hope it's in one of these, so I'll dig out the book. Let me see. It's like 2 lines long, and I'm going to find it. No, it's not in there. Let me get my book Lantern. It's really stupid that it's taking me this long to find it. Okay. Speaking of death and illumination, it's my Dark Night of the Soul style poetry book Lantern. It's available on Kindle as well. Oh, probably in Descent. No, maybe it's in Ascension. 7. Interesting. Yep. Here it is. page 82, which breaks down to 10. It's called Flawless. I refuse to clothe myself in a mantle of infallibility. Fill my cracks with gold. Highlight my faults. That's it. I wish I could remember what that's called. There's like they have a specific word for it. And it's really stunning. So, and that's, the gold is the sun, right? I'm filling myself with light to cement the pieces of myself back together, right? Even this butterfly's got gold all through it. Or moth, or whoever. Probably a butterfly, because that looks more like a chrysalis than a cocoon. Alright. So this overview for Aquarius here, I have this. It looks like a butthole, but it's actually a donut. This is a toroidal field. Right? Now, what happens when something's a broken record, it just goes around and around and around and around and nothing ever happens. What happens with with a toroidal field is the energy of the circular motion sucks through a portal and comes out the other side and wraps back around. So instead of just being a dead end, it's a feedback loop. The Nine of Orbs. So this is the nightmare. This is the half moon. The Nine of Swords is Gemini. No, is, God damn it, Mars in Gemini. So Mars is retrograde. And I wanted this card to be inverted, right? I'm releasing the nightmare. But I feel like the way this is coming in is saying the ancestral trauma is a feedback loop of fear. I'm broken into all these pieces, and I'm afraid of all of them because I feel like I feel incomplete. And I'm afraid of, you know, not being able to get out of this pit. But the difference comes, it's like when you have the release, I feel like this 9 is speaking especially to this 8 of Cups. It's like realizing that you can talk to these other pieces of yourself, by 8 and 9, 17, that healing will, all these little spheres will join together, and you'll have your soul retrieval, and you'll sort of awaken from your tomb down here in the dark, and you'll have enough to climb out, right? I can't reach the top. Well, if we all join together, we can reach and drag each other up. Right? So this donut, this feedback loop is like I put out a message and I actually get something back instead of just a cloud, right? I can't communicate to the universe. The universe is always in contact with you. And in order to see that, you have to start opening yourself up to the rest of yourself. And that will end this trauma nightmare of, like, I feel alone, where's the rest of me? No, there's nobody there for me. I'm always getting blocked. I can't get up this wall. I'm getting blocked again for the millionth time. Well, if you allow yourself to be whole, you can see there's a path there where you can reach up now. So, and I feel like I'm not quite explaining that right. I want to get one more card to go with the 9 of Orbs, the 9 of Swords. Like, there's a lot of fear. This one's bent. Oh, okay. This is what I needed, the 9 of Wands. This is, I'm waiting around forever. Forever, since ancient times. essentially these are the nightmare cards. And it's signaling that the awareness of this, the illumination of this, and we see on this one, the sun is rising. There's going to be, like, this pain journey is going to be over very soon. The relief is coming in, the connection to the source light, that solar energy is coming. This could very well be a chakra portal. All right, I think that'll do it. So I think, well, it's my opinion that this is kind of a preview and prep for what's going to happen when planets start moving into the sign of Aquarius. And certainly when the sun moves into Aquarius in the third of January, right? 3 times 3, 9. There's going to be like an expansion of this kind of energy. All right, I'm seeing where there's a lot of what's happening here in this fall to winter season is a preview for coming attractions. All right, so if you want to get a personal reading, I have a complete list of readings I have and how much they cost in the description box of my infomercial video. It's going to be linked below this. Again, this reading is $77. And if you add charms to it, it's $84. And the description box also has links to my Cafe Press, DeviantArt, merch, and prints. I have that book Lantern there and 2 coloring books on Amazon. I have the camera with myself here. Actual art items in my catalog. I got the stuffed animals and digital portraits, the chapbook packs, which include little snippets of that poetry. There's 1 and 2 and 3. I've got 9 of these, and they're just randomized, the little bits of art and stuff. So it'd be like, you know, yanking out some charms or getting a couple of cards out, just random images and writing numbers in those packets. So those are available. And the stuffed animals, I have foam lotus, like this guy right here. Single drawings like this over here. That's all in my catalog. So the link for that and all of this other stuff is in that description box, or you could just email me, thecatcamebackatcamp@gmail.com. If you want to hit that tip jar energy exchange, we got paypal.me/CATtheMinion. I also have Cash App and Venmo. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, comment, check out my playlist tab, my discussion tab, and stay groovy, and we'll see you later. Bye.